Hi, welcome to Small Group. For the next few minutes, I'm hoping to kickstart a great discussion about what it means to have a Christmas that's full of joy in 2016. This week, my kids came by my office to say hi and take a break from running errands with my wife. And you probably won't be surprised to hear that there isn't much for a kid to do in a big, empty church, except get into trouble. So I decided a while back that I'd always have stuff to do in my office that would keep them contained and entertained. Now, when most people find these on my bookshelf, they say things like, well, I always wondered what you did all week. Now I know. And the truth be told, they are a convenient distraction some days, but mostly not for me. Here's the problem, though, with these little toys. Everybody wants to be Yoda. He's the most powerful Jedi, after all, and every kid always wants to be the best. So distraction turns into altercation rather quickly. And I have to give the old everybody wins when we share speech, just like Dad used to give you. They never listen. But I listened to myself give that speech just this week and was reminded of the truth in it. And at this time of year, the most meaningful and life-giving thing that we have to share with others is joy. So many of us don't have our own this year. We've lost or missed out on so much. We're dreading Christmas, mostly because we don't feel like we're able to have any other emotion around it. But the truth is, joy is meant for collaborative consumption. There's been the example in Scripture over and over again. This was especially true when John was born to Elizabeth. We read that her relatives and neighbors all shared in her joy. This was in the middle of circumstances that didn't lend themselves to joy. When you think about things like Herod and the rule of Rome, for a Jew in that day, it wasn't easy to have joy. But Elizabeth shares hers, and the others get a portion of joy they couldn't fabricate on their own. And ultimately, their attention was directed toward God and His faithfulness. Ultimately, He was the source of their joy. Even before John could utter one word, his life was about turning the hearts of God's people back to Him. Sharing our joy with others provides a tremendous opportunity to share God's heart for them. And when we're the ones being shared with, we come to understand that we might not have our own joy, but joy can be ours when we participate in community with others that are willing to invite us in. We're not alone. We don't have to be joyless. There's an entire community of people called the church that have been told to share all they have, especially their joy. This level of collaborative consumption has three components, regardless of what asset is being shared, but especially when it comes to joy at Christmas time. First, there needs to be trust. We have to build relationships and reputations that people believe in. The best sharing firms like Uber and Airbnb depend on trust. And that comes from people coming through on their promises and delivering. So we have to ask ourselves, am I trustworthy? And maybe more importantly, can I trust others? And what are the implications if the answer is no? The second key component is a platform. Elizabeth's platform was some sort of birth announcement. We don't know for sure. But in our day and age, we have platforms of all shapes and sizes. Wikipedia and BlaBlaCars use their websites. So whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Snapchat, we have a place where we can share what we know and the victories we've had. What an opportunity to share joy, more than hate and debate this Christmas. Finally, a sharing economy needs to be accessible. This means that it isn't hard to find in us. There aren't the proverbial relational hoops to jump through. We just freely give. So we need to make sure that those in need of some joy can access it easily in us. And for those of us in need, we just have to jump in. Keep our eyes open for those willing to share and receive without guilt or question. That's called being blessed. This Christmas, make sure you experience joy the way it's meant to be. And joy is meant for collaborative consumption. If you don't have much, take it from others' victories. Your Christmas doesn't have to be joyless. And if you have a ton of joy, don't be a hoarder. Have a great discussion. We'll see you next time.